Level 1. What we're gonna do here is basically articulate the chord. I'm taking the chord C major 7 and I'm literally breaking it down. So I'm gonna play 1, 3, 5 of the chord, which is basically the chord. This is an arpeggio, so it's a broken chord, basically breaking the chord into the letters, if you will, and articulating it. So I'll play a groove, you play C major.
Sounds good.
Oh, I just released a lo-fi course, which if you like guitar and sounds and you dig lo-fi, please check it out. We're doing a big sale. Cool, so it sounds correct, it sounds fine, it is the chord. Now, what happens, maybe you come for a second and I'll add one thing. Level 2. In this level here, we're gonna add the 7. So we have 1, 3, 5 from level 1, but now 1, 3, 5, 7. That sound, which is really, really lush and beautiful because we are already playing it in the chord. Let's hear it. Now, this is fine, it's starting to be a little kind of lushy, which is beautiful and interesting, but let's go another level up because there I want also us to try and solo, and here we're gonna take the same arpeggio but basically shift it in position. So a lot of times when guitar players play, it feels very, very kind of boxy. It's like in this area, in this area, in this area, but when you look at a piano or when you listen to music, oftentimes it has this like kind of like waves in a way. I don't know, that's how I feel about it. So what are the things that I feel are essential is really to try and see the chords and the arpeggios in a few places, and one of the ways is to hear it and see it all across in 3 octaves. So literally taking this arpeggio with this position here, but just continuing the musical line. There are a few optional fingerings, but let's hear it for a second. You want to play?
Sure.
3, 4. Exactly. So now it's all good, but now let's try to hear how we can solo with that idea. So maybe you have the freedom to use the 2 first position and this bigger arpeggio and try to make music with these notes, but really kind of try to stick with these notes. 3, 4. It's starting to be almost like music. Now, of course, I kind of restricted you to basically 4 notes that you can choose from, and you did.
I cheated.
Just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit. But basically, the point is, by restricting ourselves just a little bit, we can learn a lot of music, and these arpeggios and these kind of sounds are really, in a way, the core of the music, because I feel music is all about almost a geographical place. So if you have the chord C major 7 and we can express it, it's like coordinates. And then if we have the chord C7 and we can express it, it's the same thing, it's coordinates. So we want to really understand what we're doing. For that, let's just sing for a second the root and make sure we're hearing the C major 7. So do, you hold the C, do, mi, sol, si, sol, mi, do. Right? A lot of times when I'm listening to this chord, it's great to understand what's happening, but you really want to connect emotionally so you can tag these colors, right? So at the end of the day, it's just a sound, and what it makes you feel is the music. So when you're practicing these arpeggio, these technical elements, in a way, they're not technical, right? They're just kind of like structures and facility to allow us to create, but you want to connect it to your soul. Really, but right, that's what's up.
Yeah.
So when you're practicing, really try to listen deeply, and if you're listening deeply, it will actually be a faster process. It takes a little bit of time to be able to focus, but if you do it, you can really get all the juice from it. 4. Here what I'm going to do is play double. So basically each note is getting 2 hits, 2, and I'll solo a little bit after, so check it out. That's the arpeggio, and now I'm trying to solo with that. Right, Right, so I literally played the same notes with the arpeggio, guys. There's a lot of importance to try and create when we have something as simple and as a concept of 3 octaves arpeggio. We want to try and bring it home. So we want to try and make music with it, even if it's as simple as a right, just like something, but I'm using that idea of the arpeggio. And of course, the arpeggio and all these ideas and concept, they live in a world. For example, C major scale, so we can later on grab things from that as well. 5. So the same thing that we have here, the C major 7, I can play an arpeggio. It will sound really cool. Check this out. Okay, so all I did right now was just playing E minor 7 over the C major 7, and when I'm doing that, I'm actually getting the 9, which is really a cool sound. I'll let Gabe solo and kind of mess around with the E minor 7 on the C major 7. I'll comp and we can hear the color, mainly the 9. Pay attention to that sound. 3. The accent on the major 7 and the 9 that he's kind of playing, like playing that arpeggio against that center. Really cool. The concept of playing a chord over a chord is when harmony gets really cool. So the same thing we're doing the E minor or the C major 7, we can do
with G major 7.
Exactly. Let's hit it. Yeah. Yeah, nice. When he's playing the G major 7, what really happens is we're getting the extensions, which are really beautiful. Again, this is just the exercise, quote unquote, but we still feel those colors. We're getting, play the G over this for a second. We're getting the flat 5 and the 9, right? So, and with all these things, just it's always good to kind of sing it. So you have the C, and you're like imagining fa dia sol, right? The flat 5 to the 5. And music is all about these colors and articulation of centers and tension and release. So by organizing these arpeggios in different ways, by playing E minor 7, G minor 7 against the C, we're creating all this beautiful weaving world. I'll try as well for a second, and I'll try to solo a little bit with the E minor and the G over the C.
That's it.
Cool, so I cheated a little bit, but not too much. So I had the E minor 7, or the 3 notes per string, 2 notes per string as a target, and then I played things around them to articulate that color. Next. In the same way, we kind of stacked colors over the C major, E minor, G major 7. Now I can do it with B minor 7 as well, which will give me even more colors. But I'm gonna do one more level more complex, and I'm gonna take this pentatonic shape on that center. So check this out. That's the shape. I'll play it again really slow so you see it, and then we'll hear how it sounds. What is happening here, I'm playing 2 notes and then 1 note, 2 notes, 1 note, 2 notes, 1 note. So it's kind of a cool sounding thing. Play C major for a second. Slowly. Right, so it's a little harsh, definitely, but in a context of a solo, sometimes these ideas and kind of fingerings after we work on them a little bit can give us fresh ideas. And I think the point is to try and be free, to try and get more sounds under our fingers and trying to express what we feel. So if you don't like the sound, don't work on it. It's very simple. But if you dig it, there's something that is attracting you there, so just try to work on that and see how you can incorporate it slowly but surely. On this level, I want to talk a little bit about framework. So framework is something that a lot of people are at times scared and not comfortable, and it's important to kind of address it and make sure we see the notes on the guitar and really able to access them. So the stuff that we showed you till now was kind of like in this area of the guitar, which is of course awesome, but we can take the same idea of that 3-octave arpeggio and do it in different positions. So what happens if we start from G? Perfect, right? And this is a really cool shape. If you see visually, 2 notes, so sol, si, do, mi, sol, si, do, mi, sol, si, do, mi. Right, this is just articulating C major 7, but in a different way than other shapes that we had. Right? It's really fun, it's really cool, and it does give us these colors, and of course later on, we can adjust these sounds, especially if they have these kind of cool fingerings that are accessible as guitar players. Cool, so this is from G. Now from B, it would be the one that we actually play together. Sometimes I like kind of resolving it there, so I have one slide thing, but you don't have to. Next one is from C. Yeah. Exactly. So it's a little trickier just because of the motion. There are a lot of jumps here, so you need to kind of like remember when there is a jump and when not. So and they're kind of big skips, especially if you do it a little faster. And then the last one is from E, so mi, sol, si, do, mi, sol, si, do, mi, sol, si, do. Right, that kind of sound. I would work with all these in time and trying to see the notes on the fretboard, because I feel this is a huge thing that is important.
So true. Especially this guy.
Yeah. But it opens up things for you, because you're like, you can see it all of a sudden.